Welcome to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Marrocco. The ACIO has a long history of helping humanity from the deep recesses of time. This is the first time the ACIO has become available to the public, aside from an earlier visitation by their 15th Division, the Wingmakers. Peter the Insider, originally from Slovakia, is the director of their 12th Division, and Jessica Arael Marrocco is in Cicada 3301, their 6th Division. Together, they provide intel, insights on current events, a deeper perspective on aliens and UFOs, super soldier missions with Unit 374 and the Merge, and news relevant for disclosure. Don't forget to subscribe to keep updated with our latest intel and post any questions and comments below.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. We are here with Peter the Insider as usual, but we're also joined by Navy John and Anthony Zender and Taino, or aka Tyson. And so we're going to get into a discussion. We're continuing the conversation regarding TIRAP. And I just want to mention to some of you who reached out to me after the first show that we did on TIRAP, where I had that unexplained vehicle fly over my house and had some kind of cloaking or whatever. It was really hard. I couldn't see any vehicle whatsoever, but I could hear it. It was my whole house was vibrating. And a lot of you posted concerns and sent me private messages. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Because you never know, something like that, can happen. You don't know what happens to the person afterwards, and you can sometimes get really sick or, other issues come up. So I just want to express appreciation with that. And so with that said, I just want, let's get this, get the ball rolling and bring in Peter. Hello, Peter.
So I want to say hello, Jessica, to you, and hello to all the team members. I appreciated you just come in one piece and all together. I want to say hello to all of our regular and maybe not so regular listeners. And it will be, as if I am not mistaken, Jessica, the third part of our series about TIRAP program, what means Targeted Individual Research Advanced Program, right?
Right.
And why in the world all of those nice people are right here, right now with us? The answer to this question is very easy, because all of them, including you, Jessica, and including me, we've got very bad encounter with being part of the TIRAP, of course, non-willingly. They are doing crazy crap to us. And not only, that's the problem, not only Monarch and not only Murkov, but Mobius and so forth, they bring this to the whole new level, because they started cooperation and collaboration from their aspects from the fourth dimension, aka fourth array density, because they know that, and especially Mobius, they know that their own, also called old world order, aka old matrix, is long gone. It is long gone, okay? After April 26th, 2020, it was shut down, and it has some sort of, let's say, after effects. I don't know how can I call it properly, but it still gets, and it was going on and going on and going on. But there is just a little bit problem for them. Then after 4 years, it will completely collapse, aka after, especially to April 26th, 2042, bam, there will be no go. It will be like all the matrix, and the residual effects of all the matrix, bam. And they are so desperate in order to make some sort of at least continuation who will be, how can we can call it, sane. It will make some sort of sense, okay? But they don't know how. They are completely out of ideas. As you know what I mean, they are out of ammo, is we, because we are in the army, at least 3 of us, you know. It is like, okay, we will shoot until bullets are gone. Their ammo is gone. So they get in contact with their aspects from 4th dimension, aka 4th array density, and believe me guys, rock will go on. Oh my god. So we should be focused, because this what will, I don't know what will happen, but believe me, this is not for fun, because they know that they are pretty much playing for all. Okay, it's okay, let's call it, it is Russian roulette for them. Okay, everything or nothing. They know it. We are fine, not a big deal, but they know that their time is gone, long gone. Okay, because we who has open mind and all kind of this stuff, we can see the transformation of the world. The problem is they don't want this to happen. They don't want this to happen. This is it what I want to say in the very start of the show, and I can see that Anthony, aka Z, want to say something, so let's start, Anthony.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it's good to be here talking about this subject because in my whole waking up to what's going on and being involved in this, the TIRAP program is what I was looking for to realize what I was a part of. And that was, you know, when I first realized the black helicopter phenomenon happening around me. You know, that was when I first realized I was in the TIRAP program, like a targeted individual. And then after that, I started having people follow me around. I started having government agents approach me. I started having, you know, being followed around by crafts, by black helicopters. And the crafts that were following me around are every type of aircraft you can imagine: Cessnas, Pipers, twin engines. They have every type of World War II craft up until now: F-16s, F-15s, F-18s, F-22s, F-35s, all the C-5s, C-130s, C-17 Globemasters, all the time are just constantly flying around me. And I've been aware of this for like 11 years now. That just wherever I go, I'm being followed around by different types of craft. Like, and they even have the ability to project like any type of paint job. Like I'll see pink helicopters, you know, light blue planes, and these images will be following me wherever I go. And I obviously realized that this air traffic was unusual. And that's, even at nighttime, there's an image projected, or at daytime, there's an image projected, but at nighttime, if you look at these different images that are projected during the daytime, they have unusual light patterns going on with them. And they'll move in unusual ways, like that aircraft won't move because I know that they're anti-gravity and they're invisible, just like with what you said last time, Peter, and with what happened to you, Jessica. That happens to me all the time because they have the ability to produce noises too, images. And you'll like, I'll have an aircraft, a huge aircraft fly over my head, and then the noise will cut out. It'll totally cut out, and then it will just be soundless flying over me, and then it will cut back on. And my unveiling, my gathering of all this made me realize that this is an advanced craft, that's monitoring me, following me all the time. And I've even had telepathic connection with them before, because I believe one time I was talking too much about something sensitive, and they came to me telepathically, and they unveiled themselves, because if these craft came uncloaked, they would be, it would scare the shit out of everybody if they saw it. And it looks like an oscillating light. It just looks like an oscillating light. And in this experience, they came and they landed and they got out, and I saw who was in the craft, and they were super soldiers, and they were the most intimidating things I've ever seen in my life. And so I know that they're always around, flying around, but people are not aware of it because they are seeing a holographic image. And I know that this is part of the reality that's bleeding through, that more and more people are becoming aware of now, and especially those in the targeted individual program. So thank you for letting me say that. I'm glad that I got to talk about this, because it's what I've really wanted to be addressed for a while now.
I just want to say something really quick, just to confirm what you were saying, Anthony. I've seen physically whether it's TikTok or some kind of YouTube shorts or whatever, or people have even sent me videos where the vehicle, like the vehicle has these like weird colors, like colors that no one would ever paint a helicopter, like you said, pink or orange or something like that. And then also I have seen things exactly what you said, where you hear a sound, the vehicles make a sound, then all of a sudden there's nothing. I mean, it's physically impossible for them to completely shut that down. Well, I mean, maybe it isn't with technology now, but I always thought that was strange as well. So it confirms a lot of what other people have been saying too, like pieces here, pieces there, but it sounds like you've had a spectrum of everything. Peter, if you want to say something.
Yeah, I want to say, or let's say, yes, I want to say about, let's say, I want to confirm exactly what Z, aka Anthony, said right now. Both. In the first place, sometimes they are creating sounds, making sounds. They are absolutely unreliable with the sounds what, I don't know, helo, I mean helicopter, is making, or any sort of like jet fighter or cargo plane, and so on and so on. And then just like that, and what the heck, where the sound is? No, there is no sound. And then and then, man, another sound, or the same sound, but the weird colors, and or maybe no colors, I mean the airplane and so forth, being totally non-visible, as you said, Jessica, because we made the show, okay, and it happened literally. We recorded the show, And I will tell you how is it possible, either to be completely invisible or paint, as you said, Jessica, like, nah, who the hell will just paint in the pink or something like that? Because they've got their surface, they've got specific layer, this very tiny layer, and they are specific molecules. It is compound, okay, but the main part of the compound is quicksilver, aka mercury, okay. And thanks to the specific boundaries, you know, between the molecules, they are just creating specific patterns, and they are pretty much, quotes in quotes, cheating your eyes. Do you know what I'm trying to say? This is like, what in the world am I seeing? And this is it. They are just cheating your eyes. You know what I'm trying to say. This is it.
And
it is
Peter,
pretty much. It is pretty much like there is no movie. I mean, the no video footage. It is just, for example, 60 or 120 frames per second. Nah, it is not a movie. Our eyes as an organ, they are organs, they are just not perfect enough, or let's say advanced enough, to see enough frames, 24 frames and more, and you can see that as a you know what I mean, as a move. And this is it. They are using, aka misusing, limits, physical limits of our eyes for creating whatever they want.
When you're talking about the invisible, you know, them being invisible, I've had many times where, you know, it will appear to be a black helicopter coming at me at night, and it will be, you know, lined up directly with me, flying directly over my head, because obviously it's aware of where I am in my presence. And, you know, one night when I saw it fly over my head, I actually saw the outline of what it really was. And it looked kind of like see-through, but I actually saw the outline of the actual craft and ship, and it looked like a triangle. And it was just kind of like I could see through it, and it was kind of like invisible, but and the light patterns were different on the aircraft. But then I actually had a telepathic experience where they came, and it was like a black triangle. And what they were able to do was, in the experience, they came and landed. And then I was like, I ran up to the ship, and then they took off and created a portal and went through the portal and disappeared. And I'm sure that these ships have that technology, because I know that these are the same ships that are responsible for my labs, right? Because for like taking us and being involved in the secret space program, right?
You are very right. You are very right. You described it absolutely perfect. As it is said, you nailed it exactly. Just by the way, what you described, it is anti-gravitation reactor. They are what they are using, and it has, give me a second, guys, 270,000, okay, rotations, not per minute, per second. And I don't know in which kind of pressure and temperature. It's absolutely crazy what they can do. It's absolutely crazy. But I'm just saying, okay, that what you described, Anthony, yeah, and this is it. They are using this anti-gravitation reactor multiple ways. It is their main source of, let's say, it is some sort of power supply for engines, but they can also create portal, as you said. And it is, how can I say it correctly? If you have tornado, and it will, the inner part of tornado will just suck you down, and this exactly can do. This reactor can do, like, once it is flying over you, in the very middle over you, it will suck you out to the plane, and you are pretty much gone. You are gone, okay? Physically. And then they created a portal, bam, nothing. It's crazy. I saw that so many times on my own eyes, and I was like, what? They've got very advanced technology. Sorry,
That's the typical abduction technology that you see, the saucer ships and just abducting people right there on the spot. And it happens quickly, doesn't it, Peter? When they decide to do something like that, and they know
very quickly, Jessica, they can be kilometers. We are talking like 4, 5, let's say 6 kilometers above the ground, and it will happen within, I don't know, 1/10 of the second. It's crazy. It's crazy how fast it can happen.
And they've obviously been watching that individual for a while, you know. So that whole thing of targeting them prior to when they decide to take them, I don't think they just take them.
But Jessica, give me a second. That's the reason why it is called the whole project targeted individuals. They are not quotes in quotes using random people. They get everything in depth into very detail, okay? And only afterwards, once they really know who they were looking for, and then bam, they just, as you said, exactly what happened. Because in the TV shows and movies, they just made it, the whole abduction process very slow, like super slow. Because if it will be in real time, literally, you are talking to me or to who so forth, and you can be like, let's say, for example, 10 feet away, so it is 3 meters away, right? You are talking, and then you are blink of eye, and I was like, what? And the person is gone. It's crazy. I experienced it so many times. I experienced it. It's absolutely crazy. My, oh my, oh my. I'm just saying, you know. Sorry.
Yeah, because they make it look like it's random. Like someone's just driving down the street and then they abduct them. They don't realize what happened before then. And so people that are being targeted should be aware that things are happening around them to try to ground themselves so they're not in a situation where they're vulnerable, that they can be abducted in that level. I mean, it's not really obvious, but there's thousands and thousands of people missing around the world. Unexplained.
You are very right. You are very right.
So, and not everyone's a witness, you know, when it happens. There, a lot of times they find people when they're isolated and they know when to do that. But Anthony, go ahead.
So I just wanted to bring up, like, part of the TIRAP program that I have experienced since I've been aware of it is being targeted by directed energy weapons. Since I woke up to this and their existence, I've been frequently targeted by directed energy weapons. You know, I'll be sitting and then I'll feel a blast come on the side of my head, and then it will be like a ringing, a loud ringing like that, and it will be at different frequencies and stuff. But it's been for 10, 11 years now. And I know that's because of being targeted being a my lab. It's all connected. And I think it was one time Peter was saying that they do this. They do the directed energy weapons to like slow down our memory process and because we're remembering stuff. So that's why they hit us with the directed energy weapons. But I know that a lot of people experience this, and it's a phenomenon that people on YouTube are making videos of being targeted individual, but not having an explanation or an answer to what or to who is behind it. And apparently, Peter, you say that it's the NSA and DARPA, but like and obviously in connection with the corporations, right? Like, but like like from my understanding.
You nailed it very right. You get it very right. Exactly. Yes. Because look, DARPA and all of those alphabet, let's say, agencies, they are just puppets in pretty much for, or let's say, in the hands of corporations, and we know it, but they don't want to admit that, because they will be like, what, we are here just for fun? Nah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a very serious issue. And it's interesting what you said, Anthony, too, about how first you see the vehicles and feeling that your target are being watched, but then there's also getting hit with scalar, which is something that I've been struggling with. And I remember I traveled one time and I went over to Europe, and as soon as I got home that night, I got hit in the stomach, and it lifted me right off the bed, like probably a few inches. I was like, what was that? And like, here you are, you're tired, right? You're, just got off of a plane and something like that happens. And then, ever since that incident came over my house, and I started to get scalar again while I'm sleeping, and I'm waking up and I'm hearing the frequency and everything. And it does, it shakes up your thought process. I never stuttered or anything like that. I think that happened after I started getting targeted. And, some of the extra problems that go with it. So, and because they don't want you to remember, and they even showed me that they were angry. I had a vision of the Arbonne. They showed me in my lab that they pointed out, and they said, one said to the other, she's not supposed to be remembering. Why does she remember so much, or something like that? And they were furious that I was remembering what was happening. And that's where, like, they try to wipe that so that your mind is scattered and that you can't fully focus, and you have, plus it's painful in a way, you feel that hit your head. And so we've been talking a little bit about having protection in your house and having certain kinds of curtains and blankets and some other things, because it probably can make you really sick having them do that all the time. But
it's been several months back, but I felt like I was thrown out of the bed, and it was physically. I took out my little plastic, nightstand thing, and it was like I didn't really have any memory, but it seemed like I was in maybe a mission or something, and somebody had got me or something, and I got pulled back into the reality, or they threw me back, got pulled back into this reality or something. That's one thing that's happened to me, and that was pretty memorable. And I was also going to say, I live out here in the country, and I see those lights all the time, these like helicopters or whatever, and they blink kind of funny. I'm in aviation, so it's just kind of, they have certain light sequences, like on the right side, left side, and all that. And it is kind of different. And sometimes they just kind of hang around out there if I'm sitting out on the back patio and stuff. So maybe that's part of that whole thing as well. And then my wife, she works in the same place that I do, different department. And I mean, I've never seen anybody get attacked like she's been attacked, you know, as far as 90% of the people stick together and they just attack her, attack. It's nonstop. So I'm friends with her supervisor because he served in the Marine Corps for 20 years, he's around my age. So we were in Desert Storm. So I talked to him about it and stuff. And he's been trying to protect her, you know. And so he talked to the senior manager, and this is a positive thing I'm trying to say now, that, you know, we've been fighting this for probably 3 or 4 years, and he finally realizes that the manager's not doing his job. And he came from the line, he was a director on the line, and he says, we got to get her out of here. She's getting attacked. That's the first time that's ever happened, you know, that anybody even stuck up for her, you know what I mean? And if I get involved, they already hate me down there because I've tried to, you know, reason with some of the management and try to talk to them. And
your wife is very targeted, and she had a hard time. As a matter of fact, I helped her with one of the people that she was interacting with in the workspace, and we asked to have that, you know, kind of a neutralize whatever the connection was between her and your wife. And I was over in Europe, and I literally saw her crossing the street in front of me, giving me a dirty look. And I was like, I'd never seen that woman before. Looked identical to the woman that you showed me the picture of. And she literally ended up over in Europe right in front of me. So you tell me that these things aren't normal. I mean, they're literally targeting people. It's really hard if you haven't experienced it, it's hard to believe it. The people can question whatever we're saying, but if you experience it, you just like, I can't even believe that just happened, you know?
And that's just one individual in that area.
Just one of them that gave her a hard time, yeah.
But anyway,
but
that's all
it was being overlooked because they thought it was, you know, just her complaining, but it was almost like the ones that were involved were not 100% normal. They weren't 100% human, or something else was going on. But the other question I want to ask you, John, is, since like you said, you're out in the country and you see lights, and I know that you're around some of the facilities of different types of things, maybe like I don't know if you've noticed anything unusual around you, like via some type of crafts or anything like that.
I talked about it that one time where I seen that white one, and Anthony had mentioned about it, and it was completely white, going really slow. It looked like maybe a 707 or something. I don't know. It had 4 engines on it, so it wasn't a 707, but it was completely white, no markings on it, and it was just like going really slow, almost, you know, near me going to work. My wife and I were in there, and this thing just came around, and then it circled the base and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody else seen it, but you know, it was odd. And Anthony said that's normal. That's just them, you know, probably watching or whatever, you know. So I have seen that, but I haven't seen too many like black helicopters or anything that I'm aware of. It could be at nighttime, you know, and they might be black, but I haven't seen any different colors of aircrafts or anything. But like I said, I don't get really attacked too much at work. You know, they just kind of stay away from me. But once in a while, before I got moved this last time, they moved me to another crew, and they said the reason why is that manager liked me, and the other people on the crew just totally laid down on the job on him because he was really pushy and everything. In a union, you can do that and get away with it, but I always just did my work. So apparently that's why they moved me. But anyway, so I'm down there, and I get along with most all the people down there. I got a really decent supervisor now and all this and that, but I just almost wonder if that was some kind of a Mobius thing or something, trying to make me uncomfortable. You know what I mean? That's all I have.
Well, I was going to say that while I was talking to you, people were showing up, parking in front of your house, trying to look through the window. Remember that? They were looking. That was happening too.
You could go ahead and share that if you want. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You know, gave me the creeps.
Yeah, you were like, wait a minute, I don't know who's that person parked in front of my house. Like,
yeah, looking right through the window at me. Yeah. While after we did the removing Mobius and all that. That's when they
showed up. Yep.
And there's not very much traffic out here, and it's some old lady in a pickup truck looking around, and then she looks back to
They look like, yeah, disguised as an old lady in a pickup truck, or using her for their eyes or whatever, however they do it. It's crazy.
And
Thanks,
then I got
John.
the beekeeper. I got the beekeeper next door, so I planted a bunch of trees, block him out. So a bunch
Then that
of
movie came out. You were complaining about the beekeeper, and then that movie came out with Jason Statham.
And
Yeah.
what's weird though is I'll share one other thing. I don't know about bees, but these things were swarming one time when I think I was communicating with you or something, and it was right out there by my swimming pool, and they were swarming right there. I'm looking out the window, and I'm like, that's crazy. I've never seen anything. Why would they? Maybe that's what they do. But that's the first time I noticed it. But they were sitting there swarming around. I mean, it's like 1,000 of them or something. And I don't know how to get. I don't want to kill them. It's not. They're. Bees are good for everything, but I've been stung twice. Like I said, in my yard, in the center of my yard, I got a 1 acre lot, and he puts his bees right on my fence line. And he tells me, when I told him, I said, if a good neighbor would have put it over there in the center so that it wouldn't bother any of your neighbors, but you put it right on my fence. And he goes, oh, well, you said it was okay. I go, BS. And I go, it's too late now, it's whatever, man, so that's just the kind of, that's our communication is like that, because he's all one-sided. It's all about him, and he's just, Mobius, whatever, monarch guy. But I think, like you said, Jessica talked about how this whole neighborhood, she thinks, is like a experimental Mobius monarch type of neighborhood, and it's very possible. I have a lot of Californians living here, a lot of different transplants, and it's just it's a new subdivision. It's probably 3 years old, 4 years old, but it's full, 120 lots, and I mean, it's just like different people in here. I've never had issues with neighbors like I have here, and the neighbor across the street selling their house, one down the road selling their house, it's weird. I don't know what's going on around here. Anyways, that's all I got.
Peter, do you want to make say anything after what John said?
Yeah, it's pretty much, let's say it was a setup. I mean, the whole situation at work, it was typical, and I mean typical pattern of setup from Mobius. I mean, like, oh my God, why in the world they've got the same drill over, let's say, almost 80 years since the Second World War stopped, and they never changed anything. Oh my God. Every single time the same drill. Oh my God. Nah. It is so weird. It is so weird. And I want to ask Tyson about the whole situation in the Colorado, because I know for sure that he got something to say about his setup, or not?
I gotta say here, it's a little bit different, Peter, than and the team. And when I was in Canada, you know what I'm saying? Gotta share this. But for the audience, just so you see that there's a good thing. And the good thing is from April 22, well, to my awareness till now, I've seen Kruger, I'm going to call it escorts, all right? If I had to travel to a certain place whatsoever, or if I had to do a mission by mapping a particular zone, I would see a benevolent aircraft. But I remember in April, if you don't mind, can I probably state two example? In
Yes.
April of 2022, I did a mission to map and only just found out a Monarch base under a National Police headquarters, and that was in Ottawa. And peep this out, probably 2 days after, or the following day, and it reminds me of you, Jessica. Listen, I'm at my place, 3-level place, and I'm up there, highest story, right? And I hear like, and it's shaking the house and everything. I was like, shit. I was nervous. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the heck? So I'm going, let's say, on the west side, and I'm seeing 7 Chinooks. I was like, yo, now I gotta say, I'm panicking a
That's
little
lot.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine 7 Chinook, and they had to fly over the house. You know what I'm saying? And like gray, dark gray. So I was like, shit. And they had like information. You know what I'm saying? Like birds when they go they're migrating, like a V. And that really impacted me. All right. Not scared, but yeah, frightened. So, and I remember later on when Anthony, you talk about those advanced aircraft whatsoever, because I see this was a Monarch thing to, I thought like something was going on or bleed through, but I found out that it was more of a, uh, we'll try to, bring the scared, or we'll try to frighten you the most, intimidate. Yeah, that's what and then afterwards, when Anthony, you said, I said, you know what? It cannot be 7 Chinooks because it's only me in the, like John said, like in the um, development that only, what I'm saying, identify it. So later on, I see that, yeah, these were advanced craft posing as Chinooks, right? And one other thing too, that there's 3, but another time too was April of last year, um, when we did the show on Arael being connected to Monarch. Again, 2 days after at night, while I was, traveling with my car on that street where I was, I've seen an aircraft coming, hovering, you know what I'm saying, to meet me. I can feel when it's benevolent or not. So this one felt weird. And it has light pattern as L shape. So listen, I've seen it, looking at my mirror. I've seen it's still there hovering. I went to do my errands for my family, came back again on my return. The aircraft was there. But what happened is probably the same day at night. This was at night. I started to cough as if I had like cold, but I didn't have any cold. But hey, for 2 weeks, and I was coughing, coughing, coughing. So you see a mission to identify a Monarch base, then through the channel, just sharing that through Peter's intel that Arael was a Monarch. You know what I'm saying? The project whatsoever. There was attacks came on, and and quickly, I remember I was being followed by a chopper. Oh man, every time. You know what I'm saying? Until Peter told me that, hey, you're having implants. I gotta say it, because I had to travel back then. It was a lockdown shit. I was a little bit in a compromise situation. I took the shot, but little did I know that, what I'm saying, that activated like an implant. So wherever I would go, going in Mexico, what I'm saying, the chopper flying over the beach out of nowhere, what I'm saying, which is not normal. So, man, we had a talk, Jessica and Peter. Peter told me, hey, can you go to Montreal? Yeah. When I was there, I witnessed a benevolent aircraft, and, it has helped me to deactivate, what I'm saying, the chip. But in here, Peter, where I'm at, there's a little activity, but not as okay. There's a little activities are tracking where I go, but not as intense as it was in Canada. But I know why. Because of when we work. So it's easy, let's say, or I don't get what's it called? What's a better word? I don't get troubled. You know what I'm saying? As much as back in Canada. Yeah.
I remember when you were, Peter called me the time when he wanted you to go out to Montreal. And I was like, what's going on? Because I happened to be in Montreal at that exact time. And I was like, why does he need to be in Montreal? I'm right here, right now. What's going on? Because I thought, well, if there's a problem happening in Montreal, then I wanted to know what was going on. And then you went afterwards. But yeah, it was really a weird synchronicity. And Peter, you didn't know that I went there, but because it was kind of a spontaneous
Sorry for
thing
interrupting you. I swear to God, all of you, all of the honest, nice people, you are hearing this. I swear to God, I didn't knew that Jessica was there. I swear to God. Okay.
Yeah, but that was a time when it was really heated for you, Taino. They were they were planning something to do to you.
Well,
I remember that.
can I share this something? So people, again, it may look scary, but there was a Portugal mission in Toronto. I've seen the chopper out of nowhere, but that chopper didn't, brought malevolent vibes. Only afterwards I knew, what I'm saying, it was part of a pre-mission, what I'm saying, to identify where I was. But Peter, you said something last week about Janet Shaw, right? And she likes to torture, and she used the witchcraft draws, and she likes to torture people on the joints. Well, I had a revelation. And Jessica, you said like they were preparing stuff, but you know what? What happened to me that accident? Uh, I last week I found out that Janet Shaw was um, implicated. You know what I'm saying? By hurting my joints, particularly my ankle. That wasn't enough. Then my knees got in the mix. So, Peter, I know we never talk about this, but this is what I really probably ate during the couple of days after you shared this last week. That's how I knew. You know what I'm saying?
But guys, did I ever lie to you? Never. And this
Yeah.
is it. Because she was angry. She started to be furious and she created tons of those small dolls and she got needles and all kind of this stuff and just itching and itching and itching. Do you know what I mean? She made small points in the parts of the dolls where the joints are, and I was like, what the heck, why in the world so many dolls? And I didn't, to be perfectly honest, I didn't figure it out in the first place, why in those specific parts. And I was like, oh my god, those are the places where the joints are. And I was like, oh geez, that will be crazy painful.
Mm-hmm.
And just by the way, once she's super like upset at you, I mean fury at you, she starts to hit you in stomach, in internal organs. Oh my god.
That's where I got hit with the scalar. That's what I said. It was hit me in the stomach.
Yeah, Jessica, because she's got a very good friend of her. She's a doctor, and she studied anatomy in India. Not this, let's say, quote unquote modern anatomy. She's medical doctor anyway, but this kind of highly advanced anatomy, and I was like, what? Why? And then I saw it. So many parts, tiny parts in the body, and oh my God.
Mhm. I want to share
But give me a
something.
second. But give me a second. I will tell you why she's doing this. Because she is not doing this, let's say, just because she wants. No, 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 no. She got many astral parasites. It is pretty much like contract with the devil, you know. She's popular, singer, and all kind of the stuff. But there is one thing. That's the tax for being famous. Astral parasites and all kind of the stuff. And she need pretty much to feed those astral parasites. They are very bad entities. And once she will not feed them, oh, that will be bad news bears for her, just by the way. So it is, quote unquote, normal that she should torture the people. I mean, not physically, but create the dolls and do crazy stuff. I mean, of course, it is not normal, but for her, it is needed. It is needed for her because she will be done. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And especially one thing, she will never be able to sing anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Because she
Mhm.
was so small, just by the way, she is in TIRAP, and then they know, or let's say they knew from very start, because she got DNA lineage, and they know it they knew it from very start. They, whoever, Monarch, you know, Mobius, they know it, and they say, let's say, okay, let's make her talent more special. But for what cost? You know what I'm trying to say? It is, you can't do anything just, let's say, without any sacrifices. You know what I mean? Nah, world doesn't work like that. No, it is nonsense. Nope. That was my, let's say, side note for this situation.
Crazy connection now. Prior to that accident, I remember that Jessica was telling me, hey, she was seeing Janet Shaw, so Taylor Swift, right, trying to stop me to going to her door. But anyway, listen, the accident went on. All right, so around November, all right, I was chatting with this lady, and she saw that, hey, there is a blonde girl, what I'm saying, that's there, that's trying to arm you, with witchcraft. But I didn't pinpoint that was Janet Shaw. And what I'm saying, until a couple of days. But look again, going back and forth, what I'm saying? So, Peter, you're saying at a point when she got really mad, she was targeting the, stomach or intestine, right? Listen, this, Peter, occurred around end of November or December to January. Uh, and you know what? Matter of fact, I know she's still trying to arm us, the team. You know what I'm saying? As still now, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. Uh, but yeah, the intestine stomach thing, shit. I had this unusual problem. I was like, damn, what it is. You know what I'm saying? Until after thinking, it wasn't natural. But it's only now I'm saying, okay, that was all, Janice Shaw, what I'm saying, malevolent action that's still continuing. And I guess, no, not I guess, but as a lesson learned to anyone out there, this is the reason why good conduct is important, or good behavior. One has to carry it, or one has to live by it. If we're living in a way that we're offline whatsoever, we'll get crushed or whatsoever. So it's one of the important thing that, since we're in this line of work, we have to really live by good behavior, good conduct. If not, there's special protection that won't be available, I'm saying, when situation like this. Example, janitor is attacking or squad, or other individuals. That was something I wanted to share. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that, because yeah, it takes a while. Sometimes we can't figure out what the root cause of something is, but would that happen to you a while back? And now Peter just recently talking about how she targets people, and the whole the witchcraft part, which she doesn't hide in her music. You can find it. And also her most recent one about the tortured poet. She is there. One of the songs is Peter, by the way. And another song mentions Chloe. I was looking at that today. So Peter, she mostly, we're part of the team, Peter's 12th division. And so in particular, they're interested in really taking down Peter. And we are here supporting the team, working with Peter. And so that we become affected as well. She was mocking me about being here in the woods. Like, in other words, you're trapped there. There's a lot of really negative, very vicious kind of energy. And but early on, Taino, you weren't around. I know Anthony was around, and John, you weren't around. But Peter was getting constantly choked. I'd try to do a show, and he was being strangled. And then there were battles, and these are the Astral, or the other, not Astral, but they're physically showing up around Peter, and very violent. And then we had to have assistance, right, Peter? You remember?
Yeah, I will tell you guys, that was crazy. I don't want to say I was afraid. As a soldier, I am never afraid, but I've got the respect, because we recorded the show, and during recording, I was like, what? And I literally, I swear to God, literally, I was choked. And to be honest, I believed at the time that I will be choked till death. It was crazy. Jessica, you are remembering that, right?
Yeah, we still have the recordings and the old shows. If people listen to the old shows, you can find it. I mean, people thought, I don't know what they thought. I mean, we kept it in there because I couldn't believe it. And you can't fake something like that where you're literally gagging, and there's nothing beneficial about the show. It's not sensational. It's not for that reason, but to show that these things, they have access. They can jump from one location to another. People think that people can't multi-locate. Yes, they can. I've witnessed it plenty of times where someone shows up and then they disappear without any logical pathway of how they exited. And so, but yeah, so if anyone listens to the older shows, they'll hear that. But I don't want to hold Anthony. I know you've been holding your hand for a bit. Just 1 second. I just want to say, adding on to what you said earlier, Anthony, about how these soldiers, you actually saw them in these spacecrafts. And I know Corporal X shared with me before about how he saw these soldiers show up, and he's not afraid of anyone either. And he said, but they were all like over 6 foot tall, 6'3" maybe, wearing these weird jumpsuits in the middle of the winter, which would be freezing cold. And he said, and they looked like they were unaffected by it. And he said he knew that they were not the group to mess around with, that they were not normal soldiers.
Yeah, when I saw them, I was obviously talking out too much. That was the same feeling I got. I know Marines. I know about soldiers. I know people that know how to take care of business, and I was afraid, of the soldiers that are in these craft. So that's I know they're serious. But I was just gonna actually ask and confirm, like I had a memory recall come in, and like usually when I have these recalls, I'll have the memory recall, and then there'll be something in the news the next day that indicates that my memory happened. And in this instance, I had a dream. I was in a dream, and we were with a team, and we were going through a forest, like it was a forest in the night. And then we came across a big compound, like a mansion, like a really nice, really rich mansion compound. And then we infiltrated it, snuck into it. And I remember being in the compound, and there being people around, but we were sneaking in. And then what I actually then I don't remember. I don't remember anything else from that memory. But then the next day I got this was yesterday. I got the intel that they Delta team had captured Klaus Schwab, and that I got that intel that day that a Delta team captured Klaus Schwab, who's the chairman of the World Economic Forum, who's responsible for, a lot of the nefariousness that goes on in this world, like the COVID disease, like he's behind that. And I heard that I also have been having memories like when they had the World Economic Forum this year. I had a memory the night before I was actually in a ski resort in Davos, in Switzerland. So I was on a mission the night, that
I remember
night too.
that. I remember you saying that. Yep.
And then, but what I actually found out from this intel that I just got was that Klaus Schwab had been arrested, and then that at the last World Economic Forum, that there was also a team there that had uncovered another plot, like this agent called Disease X. It's called Disease X, and they were going to release it onto the world. But that was subsided by the missions that were going on. But I did. They actually said in this intel too that you would see that in the mainstream media it would say that Klaus Schwab had been hospitalized, and you can actually look this up because there's intel out there that it says that this was from a day ago. It says Klaus Schwab has been hospitalized. So it's like a confirmation. And I was just saying, like, I'm pretty sure I remember being on that mission, and did this happen? Like, did this happen?
we could show the video showing some of those articles that were out there. And also I think it was 107 had a video out, or there was I don't know who else was, Carrie Cassidy maybe. But someone shared it with me, and I thought, well, I'm going to browse through and take a look. And earlier that morning, I had a really weird dream about, I was hearing about these snails. And I think, Peter, you had talked to me about these snails, of how they're like, otherworldly type of beings, kind of like the sloths. They're animals, but they have a purpose. And Monarch were using them. What my dream was is a Monarch was using the snails, the liquid, the viscous, liquid that they use, obviously they have this like silvery, or maybe there was mercury or something related to it, and they were using that as an energy source. And I said, it sounds really ridiculous, but I heard that a bunch of them got rescued, because they're sentient beings too. So they got rescued out of Monarch, which I thought was great. But I haven't talked to Peter about it yet. And I was like, and then 107 said something. They saw this clear viscous liquid. It was the same day. And I woke up and I was looking, I'm like, oh my God. I said, that's what I saw this morning. So that was their fluid, and it was in some kind of container. And so Peter, why don't you tell me what you think regarding that?
Okay, so pardon me. First things first. Confirmation after confirmation. Klaus Schwab was really arrested, but the Delta team was pretty much useless for that because he got way too complex and complicated patterns and all kind of the stuff for his security. They've got almost something like a little army and all kind of the stuff. Okay, so it happened like several days after the World Economic Forum in Davos. You are right. And we from Kruger and from Unit 374 in cooperation with Delta Force marked him as HVT1. That means high valuable target. We know what does it mean, HVT, you know, and 1, that means like, okay, there is no go. He should be eliminated. I don't want to say eliminated like killed, but okay, captured, been captured, and safely moved to another location for interrogation. Okay, so that was the first part. Just by the way, you said Z. Is it fine to call you Z, right? Okay. Okay, so you mentioned this Z, that it was a huge mansion and all kind of the stuff. I will tell you something, okay? That was his private mansion, Schwab's private mansion, okay? And we pretty much infiltrated it and all kind of the stuff. As if you played, I know it is stupid, but if somebody plays video game or video games, my bad, and plays Hitman game, it's pretty much like, okay, how in the world should I infiltrate to sneak in and all kind of the stuff. Of course, there were no uniforms, no nothing. The Delta team, Kruger 374, yikes, we sneak in the civil dresses, all kind of the stuff. Was so very well planned and excellently done, excellently made. And then we used our special created, special designed helo. It can, I mean, it is like multiple purpose-ish plane. It can be helo, it can be hovercraft. It doesn't make any sounds, and it is invisible for normal eyes, and of course, yeah, for standard types of radars. Yeah, fine, great. Then we teleported him to specific place. I don't want to mention this publicly because it's still ongoing mission. And just by the way, yeah, first things first. Official version is, as you said, another confirmation that he is hospitalized with serious health issues. Yes, you are right. And then about about COVID, yes, that's another part. You are goddamn right. But it is Agent X. It should be another diseases, worldwide spread diseases. But try to guess one thing. Do you really believe it is coincidence that social media before called Twitter renamed to X? No. It is not a coincidence. They are using SpaceX, aka Tesla designed what so forth AI, the latest version of AI in this agent. In this, it will be biochemical weapon. It will be completely, I mean, I was like, why in the world? What in the world? They created with COVID, the next level warfare, new warfare. Why in the world after 5 or 6 years or something like that, they are making another experiment? What the heck? They want to depopulate the earth or what so forth? It doesn't make any sense. But we know, or let's say we knew for the very start of this plan, and we prevent that via, or let's say thanks to the arresting him. Now he is in special place. I don't want to be more specific because, as I said, it is still an ongoing mission, and now we don't want to jeopardize the mission. So I'm really happy, Z, that you bring this to the table, and I am even more happy that I can make positive confirmation of every single word you said just right now. Okay, I'm really happy that this mission was successful. Or no, I don't want to say the mission. This part of the mission was successful because, to be honest, Schwab was very big pain in the ass for a long time, and I'm happy for all the people in the world that such a people will go into a prison. And the question is not if. No. Question is only when. For me, great news. And just by the way, great work, team. So you know, on one hand, we've been through a lot of crap, through a lot of BS, being in TIRAP, all of us. But on the other hand, okay, why in the world not to use their own weapons on them? Why in the world not? Let's do it. They trained us, they misused us on their experiments. Okay, we can remember everything, so let's do it. Let's do it. They should stop, and they should pay for every single shoot what they did on this earth, because it's a crime, it is world crime, it is sin, and so on and so on and so on, period. That's everything what I want to say about this. I don't know, Tyson want to say, maybe Jessica. That's it pretty much from my side, from my point of view.
Peter, can you confirm what I saw regarding the snails?
Yes, you are right, or you was right. Yes, 100% sure. Yes.
So they'd use them as fuel, or what do they use them for? Or do they mix it with mercury, or is that just they have that metallic essence in there?
Let's say they mixed their fluids with mercury, and they created very specific compound from that, and it creates fuel.
Right.
Or let's say energy source. Yes.
And do you feel that they those, because you've talked about these snails before, saying that they were angry, I think because they were being abused by the programs. I'm pretty sure you talked about it.
give me a second, Jessica. Will you not be angry?
No,
Be honest.
yeah,
No.
absolutely. Of course, we don't see them that way, but they're like a type of aliens, right? The sloths, the snails that you've talked about, both of them as
Yeah.
having these powers that people don't realize that they have.
Of course they have. Of course they have. Yeah.
Did they get rescued like I saw, or is that still to come?
Yes, they get rescued. I mean, hundreds, maybe dozens of them were rescued. Yep, that's true.
Yeah, so they can't use that fuel anymore. This is Monarch, right?
Yes, you are right. Most of the crazy crap happened. It's on quote unquote account of Monarch, Mobius, Murkoff, all of those corporations. It's crazy.
So there's one other thing I wanted to bring in regarding. It looks like Tyson has his hand up. I just want to say something really quick. After that incident where I had the vehicle over my house during the show, I got scalarred, and then the third tier of that was I had a very lucid dream. I found myself in some kind of cabin. It looked like the wood was very rough hewn wood, and there was someone sitting by a desk. It looked almost like a dog man and was observing us. I saw that, as well as Olaf had an incident with dogs, some kind of dog men incident right around the same time. What was that all about? Is that also part of TIRAP?
Yeah, but you need to remember one thing. And this is absolutely crazy. They used, let's say, wisdom, knowledge from eugenics. I mean, old school, old type eugenics. NAZIs made crazy experiments before and during Second World War, and they created Roman. Roman is pretty much like how can I say it? Pretty much what you said, like half dog, half man. It's what the heck? It's crazy. It is creature. I don't want to say I'm afraid, no, but I was like, what is this crap about? It is abnormally tall. It has fur all over the place. The shape of the head is so weird. And I was like, whoa. This is a wolf. This is a dog. This is a man. What the heck is this about? And it can't talk normally. It is like half barking, half talking, and something like that. And it doesn't pretty much have standard hands and standard legs, because it can sit normally as a human, right? But more comfortable. So let's say the comfort zone. It's like to run as a dog. Do you know what I mean? It's raw man. I was like, whoa, what it is? And I know,
but it had a saber tooth kind of teeth.
Exactly. Yes.
And I was like, it had the fur like a chow, like one of those dogs, those chows.
Yeah, give me a second. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly it. Yeah.
It's the weirdest thing, but it was observing me. It was like I felt like I was on a cot.
Give me a second, Jessica. Give me a second. It wasn't observing you. No. It was smelling you. Smelling. No, Jessica, why you are? Don't laugh. Standard dog have 30,000 more sensitive sense of smell than average people, average man or woman. And dogs, give me a second, wolf has from 3 to 4 times even more sensitive than a standard dog. And I was like, what the heck? No, it wasn't for, give me a second. You interpret it like, okay, it is observing me. No. Not for observing, for smelling, because I will tell you something. Once you are, not only you, people, us as a people, we've got emotions, certain emotions. We are getting pheromones, and we pretty much don't feel it. Do you know what I mean? Don't smell it. But those animals, oh my God, they can smell it a lot. So that was the initial purpose why romance was there. Okay? That is the reason, Jessica. You interpret, give me a second, you interpret it from your own perspective, but that was the true reason, huh?
Do you think he was on the spacecraft when he went over the house? Was he
Definitely.
one of them on the?
Give me a second. It was quote unquote installation inside the spacecraft. And do you know? I will tell you something. Even once you will, pardon me, go outside of the cabin, and there will be woods, maybe snow, maybe summer. The winter, summer, or autumn. The spring, whatsoever. No, everything is fake, and I will tell you why. Because it is a polygon. That means it is like 1,000 feet high. I don't know how many feet, or let's say miles, broad, and all kind of this stuff. Broad, wide, and so on and so on. So this installation is called, it has specific term for it, polygon. So you will believe, you will swear to God, swear to your life.
That you were,
no,
yeah, that you were.
No. This is a real word. No. It wasn't. But give me a second. It wasn't. How can I say it? Just simulation in your head. Pretty much, it wasn't Matrix, quote unquote, Matrix case scenario. No. It really happened. But you was inside polygon. Okay.
That's, yeah, because I ran out as soon as I heard it, I ran out, and afterwards I thought about it. Like, I don't know, it's a first reaction. You want to know what's hovering over your house. Yeah. But I thought about it. It's like I just gave them a clear shot of who I was, and I just stood out there.
What Anthony mentioned, right, and what you, Peter, what Anthony mentioned with his recall and what you said, Peter. So for the audience, the thing is, I'm going to say 75% of the benevolent, right, operation that's going on in this context of reality, in the background, even though they use other terms or groups, technically it's Krugerian Unit 374, or mainly the operating groups that does what it needs to do, and then now on mainstream it may be known as Delta Force, for example. You know what I'm saying? So this is for the audience, and Peter, I said 75%, but that's what I feel. If it's more, better. But yeah, so it's only affirming what individuals like Anthony, when you feel and it's being recalled, it's being connected. Well, what I'm saying, again, Peter, you mentioned it, but I think you and Jessica did not deserve the credit over the last years, when really Unit 374 is really saving the day. You know what I'm saying? Or even Kruger implications. So that was one thing. Two thing, I want to talk about Princess Thistle, since you both mentioned that the TIRAP started with her, right? Eons before, but prior to this. So you mentioned Schwab. For the audience, since you've been sharing, principally you and Peter and Jessica, the Malevolent Corporation, and the team as well. But Schwab, because of Agent X, I believe you mentioned Anthony, and because of what happened in New York in the fall, right, when the sky was orange. I believe, Peter, you mentioned that Agent X or something similar was used. So Schwab,
Sorry for interrupting you, Tyson. This is very important. This is crucial. I said it. I said it. It was last fall, last autumn. It was Agent X, and they literally tested over what? I don't know how. It is like 8 or 10 millions of inhabitants in New York, and they tested over the skies. What in the world it was? Sorry, I know I shouldn't interrupt you. It is impolite, but this is crucial.
Was that with the balloons? When the balloons went over? Across?
Yes,
is that
it was Agent X. Was Agent X. Yep.
Yeah.
But we did the show back in fall, and then you know what I'm saying. So, that was the connection. But hey, Schwab was a former umbrella operative until RSC came up on the scene.
Yes, you are very right. I mean, of course, it was long time ago once he was operative, but then he came ranks, and then higher ranked officer. And then he, how we can say it properly, came in charge. And I was like, yeah. And then Umbrella got very bad reputation. And they start to, let's say, to admit, okay, we've got very bad name. They made transformation and they start to call themselves a Rainstorm company. That's true. And they made brand new logo, and we know rest of the story.
Yeah. So I only wanted to add it because we've been hearing other terms whatsoever which are not really specific, and this is to give you props or credit, right, especially to both Jessica and Peter, because they put the information, who's monarch whatsoever. But now more and more people can really associate it, okay, which individual was connected to those, negative corporations. So third quick question, since we're talking about TIRAP, was Princess Tissel, right? Was she's known as well as the goddess of love, Peter or Jessica?
Yes, you are right, goddess of love in the first place, and in the second place, we know her as a Snow White from the fairy tales. Yeah.
Got you. And when she, let's say, is activated whatsoever, her skin tone changed to tan, right?
Yes, originally, yes, you are right.
Okay, because you mentioned she's a 15D Palladian. So in the Asian, the connection is in the Asian, the organic, right? Organic Asian voodoo or Asian spiritual system. Princess Tissel is known as Erzulu Freda, the one that knows, you know what I'm saying? Because that's how I've been able to connect, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I wanted to share. That's it.
I think she's probably known in like a lot of different cultures. She probably showed up in a lot of different cultures and looking like the people that she was interacting with.
Because
so
in
to Asia, to Asia, to India, or to Africa, or to indigenous or island people, I think she showed up as them. Probably that's the way that these gods, would show up to people, and so they have different names for them in different locations.
Two things, because in the Asian system they call the gods Loa, but what I'm saying, Loa is only it's single form of Elohim, you know what I'm saying? So 15D being part of the Elohim. And you know what, Jessica, in the Asian organic one, she's portrayed as a, as probably someone with tan, like almost like the picture of Snow White, but with a tannish. You know what I'm saying? Light tannish. Yeah. So.
Yep.
And yeah, and this is all because what you shared last year, Peter. You know what I'm saying? 15D been helping the Asian Revolution since 12D brought the conquest on the indigenous people of the American continent. So
yeah, they brought the war from the 80s.
Yeah, when I heard your show about Princess Thistle being the 15D, I was like, oh, hey, I'm getting to something. And then, you know what I'm saying? Because you mentioned she's known as the goddess of love. Oh, that was it's beautiful how things are connected, even though they seem so forged. You know what I'm saying?
The cultures are all connected. You know, people don't realize it, and when they start to awaken, and it's good that people are digging into history and starting to look more and more. And I know they have false history out there too, but the more that they look at it, they'll see how interconnected everybody is, and all of these same beings that visited and cared for everyone. They didn't just have one group that they cared about. And so, yeah, that's why this whole thing's important, especially since the ring was taken. And someone asked me about that ring because they saw it on someone else's hand, and I was going to talk to Peter about it.
And I was like, you know, we was in this crazy mission, and had a show, got it as a wedding ring, and she captured all of us and encaged. We were in one cage, and she makes stupid jokes on all of us, and I was like, oh my God, she got the ring. I was like, it was like the original ring, and she was like, this is my wedding ring. It should be yours. And I was like, oh my God, why in the world she's looking at me like that? And she can travel everything in every single the direction of the time, and not only time but the place, everything. And I was like, oh my God, no, this is bad. And I think it is like, okay, what in the world worse can happen? That is my initial question. Once she has it as a ring, ay. And I think so many people even don't realize how powerful those let's say artifacts are. Am I right, Jessica? They don't realize it.
You can ask the Nazis, because I'll say NAZIs, because that was one of their biggest quests. That was the first thing that they did, was go and collect artifacts from around the world. And people wonder where their power came from. And so the illusion of that they lost World War II, when I say illusion, people might not like that, but it's the truth that they went off into bigger and greater things and started to travel.
That was the Ananabra. The Ananabra was the group that was responsible for getting all the relics.
Yeah, and they
went.
And
that was the reason. That was the initial reason why they said screw this reality, and they moved to a whole another context of existence. And
right.
They won the Second World War. Just by the way,
they had multiple. Yeah, they had multiple realities like that, right, Peter? They went into multiple timelines, and yes. You see that in the High Castle, where they go through the portal, and they were like, fine, we can leave this one, but then they went from one to another, so yeah, but that was all done with artifacts. Artifacts are like crazy. They do crazy things, and when people get a hold of them, you can see that they don't know what they're doing, and then they start manifesting these really weird situations. And that was one of my feelings, or that when everything hit the fan, like around 2018 up through 2020, I always felt like the artifacts got into the wrong hands at that point.
But Jessica, I don't know. This is very big question of mine to you. Why so many people don't believe that it is just an artifact and blah blah blah, something like that never happened or it can happen. I was like, okay, and if this cannot happen, how in the world it happened? You know what I'm trying to say? It's
it's
funny.
just it's like the crystal skulls. The crystal skulls speak. They communicate. And I've had visions, recalls, memories with them. I've actually touched some of them, and they communicate. And that's where we get what do we use for computers? Crystals. So I mean, people don't, and these are artifacts. These are ancient technology that people are getting a hold of, and they have no idea what they're doing with it. It's not like it's haunted or anything like that. It's literal technology. It's just that we don't understand what the technology is. But you have a child, go ahead and put them in a plane and have them press buttons and see what happens. Well, something bad can happen because the child doesn't know what they're doing. Likewise, you have the average person get a hold of some kind of a device or technology, and then they start playing with it, and then all of a sudden, part of our reality starts to bleed through. You know what I mean?
No, give me a second. You made perfect example, and I think Navy John want to say something, and I think I know what he want to say. Go ahead.
I want to hear what you're gonna say, because you're probably right. What I'm gonna say.
It was perfect setup for another, let's say, another few years before you started to work where you will work at. And I was like, I once I started to read your records, and I was like, oh my God, another time, another man. And I was like, why in the world they were that stupid and create that? Because they create, as you said, during Desert Storm, as you said, literally, they created this energetic field. And I personally, give me a second, personally, I encountered this. And I was like, what in the world? It is literally like hit something. It is, I don't want to say it is lightning, but it is like, it has very weird sound. It is like, okay, the power of wind or something like that. And all of rest of your unit, they were just splashed all over the place. And you was in this specific part, and I can remember that you got this let's say specific mission in order to backtrack using what it was, blueprints for printer. And so many people are or will be like, whoa, what does it mean, printer? It doesn't make sense. I will tell you something. Because they stole, my bad, with Iran, okay, in 70s and 80s, blueprints for many types of printers for foreign currencies, like dollar, American dollar, Canadian dollar, Australian, New Zealandian dollar, what it was, British pound, Switzerland franc, and Japanese yen. And none of you knew that. And I was like, holy crap, that was sabotage. So it was like, okay, why in the world they did this crazy BS to the unit once they chose you as a lady unit They sent you to the place, and then they jeopardized their own mission. It absolutely doesn't make any sense. Give me a second. Till I figured out that monarch we want to steal this crap for their own quotes in quotes benefits. And I was like, holy crap, this will not end up well. And then, give me a second. You can say I said nonsenses, BS's all the time. It was okay, shown in the movie A-Team Last Mission. It came out like in 2010 or something like that. That only after 20 years, or let's say almost 20 years after the Desert Storm, they, aka officials in the army and in DOD, Department of Defense, and all kind of those people, they realized where those printers are. They've been all the time kept in a very specific, in highly elite dump, aka not being stupid, but deep underground military base in Iraq. And I will tell you something, guys. And they were owned by Monarch. Boom. That was crazy. And it was shown in this movie. It was shown in this movie. And try to guess what? Martin Burke, aka John Lynch. He was head of the operation for, how we are calling them? Alphabet Agency. Am I right, Jessica?
Yeah, in the A-Team, that's where he is, but we know he's the Shadow Group.
Give me a second. Officially, yes, but he was
officially, yeah.
Yeah, and Shadow Group is cooperating very closely with Monarch. And I was like, holy crap, what the heck took them for 20 years to discover? I mean, them, Army and DOD and even all of them. And I was like, because their own guys were betraying them all the time. Because they've got black mole. Do you know what I mean? Inside the teams. Holy crap. And they were planning to move all of those printers to the US. It will be crazy. To all of those states, pretty much it is huge area. It is like Wyoming, Nebraska, and all kind of those states. It is like a huge area, and only like in between 3, 4, maybe let's say 5% of American population is living there. Try to guess why. Because they are influencing climate. They are influencing what so forth. Why in the world is happening? Like in the winter, minus 40 Celsius degrees. In the summer, plus 40 Celsius degrees. Who in the world will live in that such a climate conditions? Nobody. And so forth. Because they are creating this, let's say, those conditions for building their dumps, aka once again deep underground military bases, and they are doing crazy experiments. As I said, Monarch mobiles. Some of them they've got Murkov stuff, and I was like, what in the world? What the heck is going on there? It doesn't make any sense.
We also said that was the MIM. Remember the MIM, the NIM, whatever they call them. It's also another name.
Oh yeah,
it.
NIM or MIM. Yes, you are right. Sorry. Yes, you are right.
Yeah.
So, sorry for that, but I was like, what in the world took them 20 years? I mean, almost, okay, two decades. And then I was like, holy crap, because they've got black mold. Sorry for that, but it gets emotional with me, but you know, it was so crazy.
That's
So
okay.
they're still active, that's why.
That's pretty much
Go ahead.
similar to what I was asking. I just had a question on. So if I was over there in Desert Storm and you said that I was in like a Navy SEAL Team 6 and then Delta Force. Now
You bet you was. You was head of this unit, and they almost killed all of you guys. It was so crazy, and I saw this video footage, and I was so, and I will not watch my language. I was pissed off, and I was like, oh hey, stop! How in the world can I see the whole situation from this perspective? And then I get it, like, oh my god, that was the aircraft. I mean, the camera inside the aircraft, they just sent this, what so thought it was the impulse. And I was like, holy crap, because that was perfect perspective. And I was like, oh jeez. And I do, to be honest, they were furious that all of you guys survived, because they believe that they will kill you. Or let's say their initial mission wasn't only to jeopardize your mission, but to completely make you like, okay, lose, bye, you will be dead. I was like, holy crap, this is crazy, because you know, you are seeing the video footage and all kind of the stuff, and I played so many times. I played it, and I was like, hey, stop! How in the world is possible that I can see it from this perspective? Because there should be quotes in quotes filming plane. Do you know what I mean? Another one. And there will be, okay, I will see type of aircraft and the type of weapon and all kind of the stuff, what they used, but there was nothing like that. And I was like, oh my god, that was crazy. Once again, I was so pissed off. I will not watch my language, because this is not what should be done. Sorry guys, this went emotional, but you know, once you are in the army, all of you know what does it mean, brotherhood. You know what does it mean. No, this is not the way how it should be. Sorry guys, I'm saying all too much.
I just had another thing. Is that for the was I working for the shadow group at that time then, or?
No. Give me a second. You worked for good guys, and but give me a second. Once they've got black moles, aka traitors, all over the place, even at the time, they desperately tried not only jeopardize the mission. As I said, they wanted to eliminate you, like to kill you, like bam, go for all. Oh my god, it was so crazy.
All right, so I guess I've been on all these missions with the unit, right? Because I don't really have any memories as of yet.
Yes, because they are making you total recall all the time. In the first place, and in the second place, you've got this implant in the very back of your head. I to be perfectly honest, I didn't knew it in the first place, and in the second place, I never, I swear to God, I never heard about this type of implant. I was like, what? Because I know certain, let's say, manufacturers, certain models, I mean types of implants, but I was like, what the heck is that? And then this is the initial reason, just by the way, okay, for FII, for your information, that the implant is from fourth array density. And I was like, holy crap, this is bad. This is bad. Sorry guys, but I know it is, I went emotional, but no, this is
What
not
does
the
that
way
mean
how
to
it should be.
me? I guess.
No,
But we know
man.
that John was right there, right? He was, a witness. That's how we found the shadow group, right? The origins.
But this is it what I'm always saying. This is it. Jeez. Oh my God. And that is the reason why they were so, let's say, very punctual. Okay, this guy, he never should remember anything. Any single thing. Yikes.
Well, that makes sense then. Yes. They just mind wipe me, I guess, every time. Or the implant does that, or whatever you're mentioning.
Yeah, implant, but give me a second. I was like, what the heck is that? And they said, you didn't know? And I was like, whoa, what is that? This is implant. I was like, I never heard about it. Yeah, because it's from fourth dimension. Oh shoot. Sorry, but that is it for this part, let's say, part of your involvement, Navy John. But I think Tyson want to say something.
I'm going to have to go too, so I want to say
Oh, John.
Thanks for the time.
John, could you stay there for a few seconds?
I don't have
Peter,
to leave yet.
just does James Caswell, the actor, was in the same unit as John?
Yep, that's true. Positive confirmation. Yep.
Yeah, he seems very familiar. I mean, I've always liked all his movies and everything, even before I knew what his purpose was or anything like that. If that's what you're asking, yeah, very familiar. I got to get ready for work, but thanks. I appreciate everything, and enjoyed talking with the group.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone has any last thoughts or something that they want to share before we close the show. Does everyone feel like they shared what we know right now, what we felt was important to share? Okay, Peter?
From my point of view, it's fine. I think that this was really good show. I want to say big thank you, Jessica, for giving me another opportunity to be in your channel. Stay safe, stay fine, and I'm really looking forward for next time. I want to say big thank you for being here to all of you. Let's say both of you, Z and Tyson, because that was one of the hell of great show.
Yeah, I really think that was a really informative show, like one of the best ones yet. And I'm very honored to be part of the disclosures, and the ACIO and the team. So thank you for having me on, and yeah, till next time.
Okay, thanks. Tyson.
Yeah, no, I agree. Very good informative sessions in which puzzles were being connected based on each own experience, and yeah, I'm just supporting. I'm saying the team, Jessica, Peter, all right, and yeah, I stand with I'm saying being involved with Kroger and Unit 374. It's sincere is the truth. So I'm always backing up, all right? Even though, no, not even though, I'm saying unless people might not see it, unless people might attack, because we put the record straight on some of the, you know what I'm saying, liars out there, frauders out there. No, I rather stand with, you know, the group, because it's the truth. So thank you, Jessica.
Well, thank you again. I want to say thank you very much, Peter, for being on the show and to help us to sort through everything. And I'm recognizing, you know, the power of the team and working in unity as opposed to, you know, the conflicts and a lot of things that were going on around, but at the same time staying cohesive. And I think this is the way that things are going to work. This is how it's going to happen. We don't criticize one another, understanding where we're coming from. And so we collaborate with Galactic Talk, with Taino and his channel. If anyone wants to watch, you know, you can just get quality information out of Taino's show. And thank you for doing that. And Anthony, you always have your words of wisdom and your insights. So, you know, keep doing that. You're going to be out in the public, meeting people. You're going to be competing. Another fight that you're going to be doing with in the future?
Yeah, I'm training for another fight right now on the 26th. So continuing that. And yeah, I will be attending the Full Disclosure Now conference in July. I'm going to that to support my sister. So doing that as well.
All right. Thank you, Anthony. And you keep us updated on that fight as well so people can watch it. And here again, thanks again. This has been a great collaboration. Everyone, and including you listeners who have been watching us, supporting us, and contributing with your comments and questions. Appreciate you very much. And we're all in this together. Have a good day.
You have been watching Disclosures. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Visit www.acio-official.org and www.readingsbyarael.com to book a private session with Jessica. Feel free to support our work. All links can be found in the description. Thank you, and until next time.